Hi everybody, we are headed up to the shoer today. People have asked me where my black horses have been the last few weeks, and they've actually had some time off. I pulled the shoes off them to do the fall plowing because I prefer not having shoes on during that time. Well, since then, Buck has get a little bit tender footed on his front feet. Not that bad, but just you could tell there's a little tenderness to their feet. This has happened before, not so much on him. I know Lady has had some issues with this before, that I've tried to run her barefoot and she just, her feet, I don't know why, but they just do so much better with shoes on. So with her, I just put the shoes on and almost immediately the soreness is gone. With Buck, I don't think he's ever had this issue that I recall, but I'm hoping, and it's not that bad, but anyways, I'm hoping that shoes will help him back feeling better on his front feet, and then I'll start working them again. They've actually had, I don't know, it's been I think 2 weeks since they've even worked, so, but they need a little break now and then.
So I'm back from Eli, my horseshoer, and I didn't take any videos of him this time. If you want to look back at my other videos, I've got 2 videos of him chewing some horses for me. But I had told him about Buck's soreness on his front feet, and he said he wasn't surprised when he looked at his feet. The heels were kind of low, and so he figured that the shoes would make a big difference, and they seem to. He seems pretty good now. And of course, Ken is fine too.
Okay, we got the shoes all on the horses. Now we gotta clip their manes. I like to clip their manes fairly often, every 4 or 5 weeks. So we'll do Ken first. This time right here, it works pretty good. Buck lets me go in his stall and I can do most of it right from his stall.
Most horses are a little bit scared of the clippers, but they usually get used to it pretty fast and allow me to clip their manes pretty good. Like I'd said earlier, I haven't worked these horses for a couple weeks, so they really haven't been brushed too much. When they're going outside and rolling in the dirt, they can get pretty dirty, and it takes several brushings on a regular basis to get this dirt off them. You can't just go, it seems like you're brushing forever and the dust is still flying, so that daily brushing makes a huge difference in keeping them clean.
Get to show you the shoes that Eli put on. These are brand new shoes. So he's got drill techs on the toes, drill techs on the heels, full pads, full snow pads there. So that's great. We do some sleigh rides during the wintertime, and here it is almost Thanksgiving. I don't do that many sleigh rides, but I do some, and the black horses are the ones I use for the sleigh rides generally. So I gotta get them back in shape for that. But the snow pads works really good because if it gets that wet, sticky snow, they'll ball up so bad. That will stop that. So I'm going to clip his mane now. He has the most unusual mane. When I bought this horse, he had a long flowing mane on both sides. And of course this is 10 years ago, so he looked a little bit different than he does now. He's a lot older now, and his body has changed, but he's still a great horse, in great shape still. But he was very impressive when I bought him with that big full mane, flopped on both sides. And the guy that I bought him from had them all cleaned up nice. And but anyways, I did keep the mane on for a while, but then I just chose to take it off for several reasons. One reason, there's a lot more care to a mane, and I also feel that with the mane so much underneath their collars, it tends to cause a little bit more trouble than if they're roached mane. And so that's just a preference of mine. A good mane is still what I look at, but so anyways, this mane here, for some strange reason, when I clip it, it's got ridges. You can sort of see it now, and I don't know why, but I just can't make a nice clean cut with my clippers. Even if they're brand new clippers, they still tend to have these ridges down through here. I'll show you what I mean after I clip it, and sometimes it may not be quite so noticeable when I first clip it, but later as it grows, it gets worse.
These clippers have been used for a while, so they're starting to get a little dull. When they are sharp, you can roll right on down through pretty quick. It depends a lot on individual horses as to how fast you can cut and how well it turns out. So if you're talking about the time factor here, I have to spend about 5 minutes on these manes every 4 weeks. If these were full flowing long manes, it would take 5 minutes a day to brush them and comb them and make them look good and be the way I would like them to be. So it is a lot faster and less work with roached manes. There's no doubt about that. I do think with a lot of horses, not all of them, but a lot of them, really enjoy getting clipped. They just stand there so nicely and just let me run that clipper right down through their hair. I have had roach manes for quite some time, but I do want to show you some pictures where I used to have some nice manes on the horses. I was hoping to find one from Buck, but I couldn't find one from Buck. But I do have one here from Ken when he was younger, and also one from Lady when she was younger. Here's Ken in his younger years. And here's Lady a few years back when our son Levi and his wife Lauren were married. And this is the team I had back in the 80s, Andy and Rowdy. They were a pair of stallions that I pulled and worked so long together. They both had long flowing manes. I'd love to know what your preference is, either roached mane or long manes. Please put it in the comments what your preference is. I'd like to know.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but there's just ridges along his mane. As it grows out, it gets even worse, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, I guess it's time we get him back to work, doing something.
So I decided to hitch him up and take a quick trip around my sleigh ride trail and check for branches down and cut them and clean up my trail. I didn't have to travel very far before I found my first little tree across the trail. In case you're wondering, this is not the sleigh that I use for sleigh rides, this is just my work sled. I guess I'm going to have to get back down here pretty soon and get some firewood up for the cabin for the winter also. I hope you enjoyed the video, and with Thanksgiving just a couple days away, I hope you enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a good night.